Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, refined investors. What a great Wednesday it is. Crazy things happen all across the markets in the last couple of days. We're down, but down but not out, as the expression goes. Guys, I'm reading a lot of articles that are coming out about XRP and why the adoption or the expansion of Ripple or RippleNet into 300 plus banks now, essentially does not guarantee the usage of XRP because many of them are just using the messaging, are still not on chain in terms of sort of like settlement. Look, if you read a headline, which most people only read a headline and get spooked out and just run the other way. You can't do that. You cannot. You've got to, first of all, two things. You got to look into what's being said, but you also need to take a step back and say, well, this is all part of the development, right? So if you go back 5 years, back to 2020, there was, Ripple had nothing going on yet. XRP had nothing going on yet. And you as an investor, perhaps that year, the year after, for myself, it was the year after where I had already acquired a lot of XRP and I got spooked. I was new into the industry. I was only in this for 5 years and I got spooked and I sold. I sold most of my XRP position because I didn't understand what the lawsuit actually meant. I didn't have a full understanding of the sort of repercussions of what it meant to get sued by the SEC. And so my lack of experience and knowledge cost me. But thankfully, I, developed some resilience and I studied it quite a bit over the last several years. But within a couple months, I jumped right back in and started accumulating again. And again, please, guys, this is never financial advice. I'm just telling you what I did. It's my story. This whole channel is about my story from my perspective of things. It's always important for you to go do your own homework and understand what it is that you're getting involved in, for your sake and for your family's sake. So we all have different risk tolerances, etc. Back to what I'm saying. So you see a lot of these articles coming out, and many people, they read one article or hear one news story and they just get spooked and run the other way, or one crash and boom, they spook the other way. But what's cool is if you look at the evolution of the stories and you look at the XRP and the Ripple story today, granted, yeah, a lot of them are only using it for messaging and RippleNet, and now companies and banks have the choice between stablecoin and XRP, the volatility versus the stability. But look at the evolution. Look how far we've come in the last 5 years. We went from we're being sued and it's a nothing burger, where XRP and Ripple is just junk, and now all of a sudden 300 banks plus, and they have choices, and now they're expanding their portfolio and getting into people's doors. Pay attention.